Everything you think you know about the Witch King of Angmar is wrong. His power didn't come from Sauron. It came from a curse uttered thousands of years before he was born. A curse from the First Age that doomed the line of Gondor's kings and made him utterly unstoppable. This isn't just backstory. This changes the entire meaning of his confrontation with Witch on the Pelennor Fields. Welcome back to our deep dive into how the First Age shaped the Lord of the Rings. In our last episodes, we traced the bloodlines and the rings. Today, we uncover the ancient, lingering curses that sealed the fate of entire kingdoms. This is about more than history. It's about metaphysical laws set in the elder days that still governed the world of the Third Age. Laws that explain why certain victories were possible and why certain doom seemed inevitable. To understand this, we need to go back to the foundational tragedy of the First Age, the story of the Silmarils and the doom of the Noldor. This was there. His ancestors were at the heart of it. When the great elf king Feanor created the Silmarils and swore a terrible oath to reclaim them, he invoked a curse upon himself and all his kin. This was the doom of Mandos. It stated that the Noldor would fail, their blood would be spilled, and they would be exiled from the Undying Lands. This wasn't just a prediction. In Tolkien's world, words have power, especially the words of a Valar like Mandos. This doom shaped every event that followed. Now, fast forward to the Third Age. We see this pattern of doom, or curse, echoed repeatedly. The Oathbreakers of the Paths of the Dead are cursed to never rest until they fulfill their word. The group releases them from that ancient bond. But here's where everything falls apart for the Kingdom of Gondor. Why was their royal line so fragile? Why did the last king ride out to face the Witch King, seemingly to his death? The easy answer is Sauron's machinations. But the deeper truth lies in another First Age curse, one that targeted men specifically. Let's dive deep. The curse I'm talking about is the curse of Húrin. In the First Age, the great warrior Húrin defied the Dark Lord Morgoth. For his defiance, Morgoth didn't just kill him. He laid a curse upon Húrin's children and all his lineage, that misery and doom would follow them, and that all they loved would fail. This is the core tragic arc of the children of Húrin. Now, why does this matter millennia later? Because the royal lines of Númenor, and by extension, Gondor and Arnor, are descended from Húrin's brother, Huor. They are of the same blood. In Tolkien's universe, curses and blessings have a way of clinging to bloodlines. The doom of the Noldor affected all elves. Is it so strange that the curse of Húrin might cast a long shadow over the blood of his kin? What nobody realized was that the Witch King of Angmar wasn't just a powerful wraith. He was the instrument of this lingering shadow. His greatest weapon wasn't fear or a mace. It was a prophecy. "No living man may hinder me," he shrieks. But this was more than arrogance. It was a magical statement of fact, rooted in that ancient curse upon the line of men. He represented the culmination of Morgoth's ancient hatred for the Edain, the noble houses of men who had opposed him. When the last king of Gondor rode out to answer the Witch King's challenge, he wasn't just being foolhardy. He was walking into a trap, baited with a destiny of failure that had been woven into his very ancestry. The curse ensured his line would end. Let's go deeper. This explains the true significance of Anne's victory. The Witch King's prophecy was his armor. but it had a loophole he, in his arrogance, could not see. A woman was not a living man in the terms of the spell. And a hobbit, a being from a race utterly unforeseen by the dark powers of the First Age. His blade, from the fallen kingdom of Arnor, was wrought by men who also fought the Witch King's ancient realm. But more importantly, hobbits fell outside the scope of the old curses. They were not part of the grand, tragic narratives of elves and men. Their simplicity, their lack of a doom-laden history, was their strength. They could strike where the cursed could not. But this leads us to a second, terrifying conflict. If the Witch King was a vessel for a First Age curse, what does that say about himself? Sauron was Morgoth's lieutenant. He wasn't just carrying on his master's work, he was executing the same strategies of domination, corruption, and cursecraft. The One Ring itself is a continuation of First Age power dynamics. The concentration of a being's essence into an object, just as Morgoth poured his power into the very matter of Arda. His entire war is a Second Age and Third Age echo of Morgoth's war against the Free Peoples. The conflict is, on a metaphysical level, the same conflict that was fought in Beleriand. And suddenly, it all makes sense. The resilience of the Des, untouched by the high drama of elder days. The significance of the Des, a descendant of that cursed line, healing rather than perpetuating the cycle by embracing his kingship with the help of those outside the curse. The elf, Merritt, the hobbits, the dwarf. He breaks the pattern. The importance of the Des, another hobbit, being the ring bearer. He is the ultimate wild card, not bound by the ancient scripts of doom. The climax of this hidden story is on the Pelennor Fields. The Witch King, a nexus of ancient curse and modern terror, stands triumphant. He is the manifested failure of the House of Húrin, the end of Gondor's line. He faces a woman of the House of Eowyn, a people also young and uncursed in the First Age sense, and a hobbit of the Des. When strikes with his blade of Arnor, he doesn't just pierce a sinew. He pierces the narrative hold of the ancient curse. He creates an opening. And when drives her sword into the unseen face, she isn't just killing a wraith. She is shattering a destiny laid down in the First Age. It is the moment the past finally loses its absolute grip on the present. So, the resolution is this. The Lord of the Rings is not just a war against Sauron. It is the Free People's final, successful effort to break free from the tragic cycles, the dooms, and the curses initiated by Morgoth in the First Age. The victory of the small, the unexpected, and the uncorrupted by that ancient history is the central theme. The Witch King's defeat is the symbolic turning point. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden curses of Middle-earth and how the Silmarillion's shadows reached all the way to the Pelennor Fields, smash that like button and subscribe for Part 4, where we'll ask, was the most important being in the War of the Ring? The answer will shock you. Let us know your thoughts on the Witch King's true power in the comments below. And until next time, keep exploring the legendary